Hi folks, my name is Alessia and this video is about stitching. As usual, I will show you my designs that I worked this week, and I will go from the biggest designs to the smallest ones. My biggest design was made from artwork that called The Golden Race by Herbert Draper, and I like it a lot. This week I was able to work on this window. It contained lots of colors, and it was like about 2-3 stitches per each color. And I moved to the next one and almost finished this basket. And I would say that I almost closed this window as well, just because there's maybe 1 or 2 colors left. And I will move next to this in this row. And I had a time to close my at least one window this week. So when I usually have some time which requires my full attention, but still I have an option to sit and stitch, I close such windows just because I don't need to look at a chart and just close this last color at a time. And usually I prepare my needles and my thread, so I can just grab it and go as fast as I can, and still I'm able to watch TV or talk and listen somebody. And in this case I close this column, and it looks like already this row is done. So my application shows me that this week I was able to cross stitch 1100 stitches, but usually it's like approximate number, just because usually I clear this colors in my application when I come to this point from the left, just because in this case I don't need to open my application and do anything at all. And if you feel that it's interesting application for you, let me know in comments, and maybe I will give some kind of walkthrough about this application. It's very easy to see all symbols in one color, and it helps to stitch much faster. Just one note that it works with some with these files which are made from Pattern Maker or something like that, so not every chart can be uploaded or used in this application, but it's very helpful. This week I was able to work on this design. It's like pre-printed canvas, and I bought it from AliExpress about 7 years ago, to be honest. And when I started it, I started on a square hoops, and it was in this rotation. But finally I understood that on hoops with such a big project it's difficult to work on, so I moved to a frame and rotated to 90 degrees. So when I change it from this rotation, I can show you how it looks like at the moment. When I decided to rotate, I tried to still keep tension and use the same frame, which is like half size of what I actually need. But you know that it's very difficult to find a frame, if it's ever possible, which is 1.5 meters. So I use 90 centimeters, and I try to make tension with this fabric, which is like maybe 4 layers of it. And actually it's not perfect, but it's still possible to work on it. And actually this canvas is very tough, so that's why it didn't work as I expected. So if it would be linen or even wave, in this case it might be possible. But yeah, next time when I start the same work, the same size work, I will not try to start from the biggest side, and I will for sure to make sure that it's rotated in 90 degrees, so in this case it fits to my frame exactly. Otherwise it's difficult, you know, that I work on it 7 years and it's like about 20%. But hopefully I will be able to finish this work this year, or at least to make good progress. So maybe at the beginning of next year I will try to finish it. Yeah, it would be maybe my next goal. So this week I closed some, as you might see on a picture, I almost closed this row, and now when I rotated it, I checked that it's actually it's work, and tension is good enough for me to work on it. So right now I started this couple colors in this row, and I will move to the right to close all colors in this row right until this fabric starts, and hopefully I will show you some good progress next week. This week I had a chance to work on my Arabian Night, as I call this picture, and I was able to close last colors on these two windows, I believe. So right now I can see that this one is like bricks on this. I feel like it's like a column, maybe a second part of this particular column. It goes down, and this flowers, and after that these bricks, and I can see that it's became more visible and more distinct from other parts of this small part of this picture. I actually, yes, I like this picture quite a lot. But this week I found that it's even I had this design on my frame, I found that actually I don't want to work on it this time. Just closed couple windows, so it was about 300 cross stitches, and for now I put it aside. Just I didn't feel like inspired at the moment to work on this particular project, but I really like this design, and I will continue work on it maybe in a week or so. But for now I found that as far as this work and my first one, a girl, I work on them on the same frame, and it's not very convenient to change it a lot. So when I have two frames, it's quite easy, right? But if I have two works on the same frame, it's changing time just a little bit annoying, and only if I really would like to work on this project I would change it, but otherwise I'll better to keep it before I finish the first one, and when I actually can completely dedicate this frame for this particular work. So I don't have big plans to work on this project this year, maybe from time to time, maybe every second week or something like that. And let's move to next design. This week, while I'm working on this project, I found that I really need permanent organizers. Those ones that I had last week, it wasn't really convenient. So I decided to make proper organizers at first. So in this case, I will be able to work on it, on this design much faster, just because I don't need to spend time on changing everything, on finding thread, finding needle, and I created a organizers which I use for other designs as well. Just I made numbers for DMC color and for organizer color. So in my case, in my application, I change in number to organizer to number on organizer, so it's much easier, especially for blends, to find number 55104 than 7 numbers color. So in this case it works much better for me, and I added all for every hole. I added a needle, so in this case when I remove a needle I always know where it should go back. So and in this case I don't need to actually find the number, just because I always have only one hole empty. And it feels like very convenient for me. So I have organizers for needles, and I have organizers for threads as well. And if I need for, let's say, 82, I go and grab 82 here. What is that? It's this one. And if I need to add additional threads when I finish with all of this, I will check 3325 and check in my box if to find 3325, just because it can be used in different projects. So in this case, of course, I don't need 82 to add number here. So it's very convenient for me, and helps, I believe, to work much faster on this project. And I had some problems when I started to work on it, and I found that, and I saw that I felt like I'm a very superstitious person to believe in such problems. Like I had problems with thread. I forgot to buy lots of color when I prepared for this work, and I had lots of knots and all the stuff. And actually I was afraid that maybe I did, as far as I didn't check it at the beginning what actually this picture means. Usually I don't check it, but at this point I found like, oh my god, so maybe I should check it. What does it mean, boat or seagulls? And I found that all of the signs are good, so they bring happiness and luckiness and all the stuff. So, and yeah, I really feel that I would like to work on this project, and I really hope to finish this by the end of the year. And I will try to work on this particular design this week as much as possible, to check how many stitches I can make if I work almost only on this one project. So I will try to have 10,000 stitches on this work this week, and if I can reach this goal, in this case I will try to continue with my second design, which house. So maybe in this case I will be able to finish this one by the end of the year, and will be able to move faster house, and will be more closer to my goal to have it on a wall as well. So, and just to mention that for this particular work I use half stitches technique and goblin technique. So it's a little bit different, but as far as I know, it will help to have less tension in one direction. And in this case, I hope to have the final picture in a right square shape. So in this case, it will not need much correction. So as far as I know. And as you might know, this technique should be much faster than cross stitching, maybe not like two times faster, just because I still need to change needle and change thread, but still it should be faster just because just one stitch, right? But it gives extra work, I would say, and extra difficulties there, just because it's much more difficult to see holes, and I found that my usual technique doesn't work as well. Usually when I use cross stitches, I start from the top corner to the bottom corner in each square. But in this case, I found that if I use the same technique, I don't see the hole in this case, second hole, and it just because my needle and my thread covers it. So in this case, I found that if I change direction from the bottom to the top for each stitch, in this case it's much faster for me to find the right hole, and I can see exactly where I should put it. And I found that it's a little bit more difficult for me when it's not like full cross stitch to see these small dots. In some cases they're just a little bit overlapping, but for me, luckily, while I'm getting used to this project, I found that I had so many mistakes in this particular window, but I didn't change it, only maybe this one, just because it was in the wrong direction. I will show you a picture here. Yes, but for others I didn't bother at all, just because it's sky, it's some grass, so it's not such important if I put couple wrong stitches in the wrong places. It's still the same picture, and I didn't need to bother to remove already and try to make it perfect. And I told you already that it's this particular design I made by myself, so I know that nobody will be hurt that I changed it perfect chart. Right? And yes, in my case, I feel like if I have mistaken, but it looks perfect for me, so why to bother to change it? And I found that when I bought all my threads for this design, I made a mistake and forgot 10 colors, and so I had to order it. And I found that maybe I need to buy new hoops, just because my particular one, my current ones are not perfect, to be honest. First one, I will show you how it looks like when I work on it. In this case, I have big one hoop and small one hoop, and big one just because it's not very good quality, so it doesn't keep tension at all, it's very bad. But this one, small one, they're good tension hoops, but they're too small and I have to move them there and back just because I leave empty spaces to fill them when I have like time when I need to do something else, for like let's say watch TV. And so when I usually have time to stitch, I usually stitch with a new window and I go to the right, and in this case I need to move my hoops all the time there and back, which is not like very convenient. You can see, especially with bigger one. So I ordered two hoops, one square one and one which is easier to put and move. I thought about frame, but in this case I found that as far as I work on a table, I need to remove this work all the time, put it there and back. So in my case, frame would be too big for my table, especially as far as I have another frame already there. So I feel like if I have a table with two frames on it, I will not be able to use this table, otherwise it will be too difficult to move it around. It's too heavy when we use frame, right? So in this case I will not be able to grab it every moment when I have 5 minutes for stitching. So that's my plan. I'm going to work on this picture, on this design this week as much as possible, and we will see which numbers I will have, many stitches I will be able to make. And if we check my application, we can see that I stitched only 2000 stitches this week, starting from Sunday. It doesn't look a lot, but again, I didn't have proper organizers, and you might imagine if I embroidered all my works almost, so you can see them all in my videos that I worked this week. So it's not like exact numbers which I can give. So I will see next week if actually my goal to finish this work this year will be real, or at least I will try to do that. Yeah, that's it for this work. Let's move on to next one. This week I put a little, maybe 100 stitches on this work on my woof. So I will add a picture how it should look like here. And yes, I didn't have much time to work on this project this week. Just usually I work on it when I need have like 5-10 minutes, and I don't want to check chart. I don't need to find needle and right thread. So in this case I just take whatever I have prepared and stitch like 5 minutes. And this week I had like maybe 5-10 minutes for this one, and I close this area around this for light purple. So I can't say that I have much to say about it. Just a very little progress on it, but still I had like spent a little bit of time on it this week, and I have a little bit of progress. This week I worked on this project as well, and I put exactly 33 stitches there as well, and it's again the same, half stitch. I will put a picture here just to compare what I had before and this week. I can't say that it's a lot compared to others, but as we can see, a little bit of progress. It's still a progress. So, but I have nothing to say about this picture as of now, just because it's not like a lot to show. So let's move to the next one. This week I even opened this one, and it's usually my project where I waiting something. Let's say I'm waiting in a line for my doctor, and in this case, this particular week I didn't have a chance to stay at a doctor office, but I had a chance to sit on a bench and like maybe for 5 minutes, but it was like quite dark, so I decided that it's not good time to embroidery, and I just put like about 30 stitches there. So I added additional threads just to make sure that when I have a time to work on it, I don't need to check them in organizers. I just need to grab these ones and I just go from there. So I put a couple stitches there and added these 4 threads just in case that I can work on it for a little bit longer than just 5 minutes. This week I worked on this horse just because I found really perfect time in my schedule for this particular work, where I have nothing to do and only this work fits in this particular case. So I work on it like 5-10 minutes every day, and it moves a little bit slow, stitch by stitch, but it will come to the finish one day. And as far as I hope to have it as a Christmas gift for my friends, that's good that I can work on it every day and have progress. But as far as I work on it my chart is on paper, and I too lazy to highlight already stitched symbols, and actually on plastic canvas I didn't put net. In this case I make mistakes from time to time, so you can see that in this particular case I have another color, but I found that this strand will not be solid, and I just need to fix it. So I put on top of this first stitch, cross stitch, I put half stitch the right color, but now I see that it's a little bit visible, so maybe I will change it next time. But at the moment I thought that it may be a good idea, so I don't need to remove it completely, just half cross. But at the moment when I see it in this particular place, I see maybe it wasn't nice idea. In some cases it works perfectly, in some cases not, so maybe I will change it next time. But maybe when I have the whole horse, in this case finished product, maybe this particular part will not be like as much as visible, just because nobody will look on this, try to find where I had mistakes. So when I started I was afraid that I selected wrong colors and it's not very nice, but now I feel like when I have a little bit of visibility, and I have almost full tail, and I have a leg, in this case it's the colors looks pretty much nice, and hopefully with whole full horse it will be much better. This week I started a new magnet. I just have a wish to have a really good crop in this year in my garden, and so I found that this particular magnet can work perfectly for this particular wish, and it should help me a lot. At least I hope so. So I was able to make about 100 stitches, and subscribe to my channel to see the progress on this particular magnet and on others. And if you are interested, I will give you an update in September if it helps or not to have a wish and to have a magnet on a fridge, if it gives better crop, just because I usually have lots of experiments and mistakes, not only in stitching but in garden as well. So without my magnet I will not be able to make it real. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next videos. Thank you. Bye.